Welcome back to Let's Talk Football, and with me I've got coach of Joondalup, Chris Nicholson. Chris, for the benefits of our viewers, can you give us a history on your coaching career?
Coaching career stems back from the UK. I was 23, 24 when I started out coaching in the local levels over there. Progressed into academy levels and School of Excellences with a couple of professional football clubs in Manchester City and Stockport County. Progressed then into non-league really, and non-league semi-pro standard over here is very similar over in the UK is very similar to over here. Managed Hyde United, Rossendale United, Flixton, and more latterly my last 7 years with Glossop North End, who were a former football league club in the turn of the century, but I haven't been with them 100 years. I know I look it, but no, I've been with them. I was with them 7 long seasons, and then I came over here in October.
So have you been involved with ECU before you took over the job from Willie?
Funnily enough, yeah. When I came over here in 2000, I think it was ECU Hammers, and I came over and did a month's coaching work with the young boys, with Mick Lyons and John Brown and Mickey Quayle, which was all great, a nice learning curve, made me very welcome. And also with Willie McNally. Came back the year later, did another year, and really enjoyed it. I think it was ECU Saints then, and I've come back last year, and my first port of call was to go to ECU, and fortunately enough, 6 months, 7 months down the track, I'm now the head coach, it's a great feeling, but it wasn't something that was planned.
Yeah, it will be a tough job, and certainly a big shoes to follow in Willie.
Yeah, Willie's done a great job for his club, fantastic job, and Willie invited me to come initially as the under-23s coach, promoted me up to assistant at the start of the season, and then obviously, Willie's got the job with glory, and I've stepped into his shoes. He took a size 10, I think I'm 7, so I do know what you mean. But no, Willie's a professional through and through, and very similar people. We think off the same song sheet, but we have got very similar characters and similar ideas how we want to play, but we're very disciplined, and I'd like to think I'll carry on the professionalism that the club has and the club wishes to portray out to the general public.
Certainly was a baptism of fire last week in your first game in charge against Stirling. They are not a bad side, are they?
They're a very good side, and it was a baptism of fire. They owed us one, as you call it, for the cup game. I thought we were tremendous in the cup game, and we thoroughly deserved to get something out of that and progress. League games are different, and we were 1-0 up at the interval, and I said before we could have easily been 3 or 4-0, but we had 4 or 5 young boys in the side, 17 and under, because we were struggling on the day. They did the club proud, and we just couldn't justify us in the second half. The own goal killed us, if you like. It knocked the stuffing out of us, and then we just couldn't get ourselves going, and we hung back far too long, and unfortunately, at the end of the day, we lost the game. We've lost 3 points. We have to recover. We have to bounce back. There's plenty of games left to recover those points.
You've been hit a fair bit with injuries, and also now the movement of Tommy Tomic across the South Melbourne. Yeah,
Tommy Tomic, he's done tremendous for us. He saved as many spot kicks as he's faced. He's been a tremendous stature on the pitch. But we've got Bobson Chroma, and Bobson's a different character. He'll offer us different things. I've worked with Bobson all season, and he's a good fella. No hesitation in promoting him to number 1. He thoroughly deserves that chance, and he won't let us down. Neither will all the players that will come in. We are 4, 5, 6 players light as we stand. We've got a good squad of youngsters and a good crop for the future, which is obviously where we'd like to take ECU. We'd like to be a force in the future, but we've got our own ambitions as well this season.
Do you work closely with the junior development here, or are you mainly just concerned with the seniors?
Concerned with the seniors initially. I'd love to get involved with the juniors and really take the club to the academy status that it is, and move that on. I don't want to be in a position in 2 or 3 years where we've got to go out and sign players. I'd love to take players from within our own environment who are club players, who deserve the chance, who are not in it just for money, that they're in it for the club and they want to progress to play for us at the Premier State League.
Yeah, speaking to Coburn last week and their coach, they also had the same impression that junior football is the way to go and that the State League here should be used as development league. Do you concur with that?
Absolutely. Premier State League, where can you go? You can't get promotion to a higher grade, your players can move like Tommy's done over East, and maybe they think it's a higher grade. But if you're staying in WA, this is the highest level you've got. So the players at the club now should really set the goals and the targets. Those 14, 15-year-old boys should set the targets for 3 years to be playing at this level. And I firmly believe that's where the future lies.
What do you think of well, I know you wouldn't have been here before, but the reintroduction of the State League side? Have any of your players been passing any comments about it?
The State League side, I've no real comments myself, no feelings for it, but it's great to be selected for your State League side. We've got 1 or 2 or 3 players involved in that, and yeah, they'll benefit. They'll have a trip abroad, and they'll play with what I call it the best players at the league. But there's so many good players to choose from. I'd hate to be in charge of that, because you're in a lose-lose situation. Those boys that are in there, well, that's great, and those boys that think they should be in there, well, it's tough. But yeah, great. Why not? Why not? It's a good level of football, and why not try and take it to the next level?
So, from your own side and from your short stint, although you've been all season really with them, give us your top 5 or 6 players that you want us to watch for today while we're playing the match against Inglewood.
They're all injured. They're all injured. I'd love to give you my top 5 or 6. Trust me, you'll get to know me over this. I'm a great believer in not naming top players. Every player that works hard for me is a team player. We have no stars, we have no icons. We're about hard work, we're about a team. And if there's 5 players that stand out on the day, fantastic. Let us hope there's another 6 stand out the next week. But I don't believe in superstars, as I call them. Charlie's come and go. We've got players that want to stick and work with us. If they win and they work hard, they're all stars for me.
Ian McMurray is your assistant manager, is he, as well as your captain?
Ian's going to step up to be an assistant and help out with certain duties within the club, which involve certain aspects of training and certain aspects of warm-up and integration with the players. We'd like Willie Mack staying as an assistant when he's around, which is great, because he's a big figure for us. So Willie's staying as assistant as well. I'm trying to introduce 1 or 2 other little methods into the club where people have got other duties that make them feel that they've each got their own responsibility.
So realistically, and knowing that you've got a small squad per se, where do you hope to finish this year other than top?
Win the league. Yeah. Why not? Your first point of call, you've got to win the league. The second point is to come second. I want ECU to be as high as they possibly can. If that means 4th or 5th, and they've given us everything they've got, that'll do me. It's something to build on. But you've got to have ambitions. Once those ambitions stop in football, it's time to put the boots away and go out walking with a wife.
Right. You've played 7 games now into the 8th round this week. What other team? I know that's probably an unfair question, but what other team have impressed you?
Stirling have impressed me. The work ethics of Stirling are very good. We've played Perth. I thought Perth on the day were organised, but we got at them. We changed our game plan to suit Perth. There's been some good teams. Fremantle Spirit for 20 minutes were a fantastic looking side. So really, I think the level is quite consistent. Unfortunately, when we played Armadale, they didn't show up really, and that's no disrespect to them as a team. They worked hard for each other. They never gave up. But I've seen Sorrento play. I've seen Floriat play. But you know what? I've seen ECU play, and when we play, we're one of the best teams on our day, and I firmly believe that.
How would you describe your style of football?
I'd like to think we close people down, we're quick, we like to move the ball quickly, we like to get in front of players quickly, we like to move the ball on and really get it from back to front as quick as we can, but playing through the midfield. My style of football, when I was in England, I played an awful lot up front and like to score goals. I'd like to get forward. Sometimes you take gambles. I'm not a defensive style coach. I'd like to progress things through midfield and build play up, but I'd really like to work in the final third, and I think that's where we can be quite creative.
Yeah, a number of teams. In actual fact, I don't think there's any team this season who has not conceded 3 goals. Are the defences weaker or are the attacks better this season?
It's an argument for both courses. I've seen some great movement up front from teams. I've seen some sloppy defending. I think it depends what turns up better on the day. We've kept some good clean sheets. We've worked hard defensively as well. But then you look when players go out and they weaken teams. It depends who's playing on the day. I think you can even that one up really. I think it's a tough call, that one.
Well, that's it for the show for today. Catch you next week.